All right, and of course, Dishonored was kind of like the bell of the ball. We got to see that in action.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
Holy crap! Yeah. What's like? Where do we start here?
Yeah, where do you start?
I'm really curious about the size. This is a new engine. What's it called?
It's called the Void Engine.
Void Engine, and it's very pretty. And it's the guys at Arcane are. This isn't. You said it starts out in Dunwall, and then we're in.
It does. It starts and ends in Dunwall, so we sort of anchor you in a place that you're familiar with. Obviously, as Harvey showed you, Emily is now the Empress, and so it sort of starts off there, but the bulk of the game takes place down in Karnaca, and then it sort of resolves. So we wanted to kind of ground you in a place that if you play the original Dishonored that you were familiar with, but it also does a nice thing that if you don't play the original Dishonored and you start with Dishonored 2, that move to Karnaca is going to feel even more like, holy crap, I'm in a completely different place, much more Mediterranean, and has a very different feel than what you knew in Dunwall.
So the first Dishonored, that was on an Unreal, wasn't it? Or was that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like a new engine, new stuff under the hood, and obviously we're running on new consoles. Like we're not on kind of tethered by last gen.
Basically, it was. It was a decision the team made right after Dishonored as far as, all right, we're going to do the next one. What do we want to do? And one of the first things they said is, we really want to look at the engine that we're using and try and evolve that. And so what they actually did is they took the id Tech engine and did a lot of repurposing and building for what they needed to do in a very system-based, immersive first-person game that a Doom or a Wolfenstein isn't necessarily trying to do, because they're very different kinds of games. And so the reason it's got its own name is they've done so much work and changed it so much from what you see running, say, Doom, to make it purpose-built for Dishonored 2.
Okay.
So the impression that I got from the demo last night was that instead of being a completely open world, this was similar to the first game, where you would sort of go into environments that are very open, have lots of options for how to approach them, but it's still not, open in the sense that Elder Scrolls game is.
It's not Elder Scrolls or Fallout. It's not we just drop you in the world and then you go do stuff. Once you start off on a mission, you have we show you a little bit of one there where you're getting dropped off at the beginning of a mission off of a boat. But from that point, the idea is the freedom from there to go where you want, to do little side missions that you can find along the way. I think all those things that you saw and sort of enjoyed in Dishonored, it's a lot more of that, as well as exploring more of the ways in which you can play, because Corvo is back with his power, but there's all these ways to level him up, and then Emily comes with a completely different set of powers. And then this morning, Harvey revealed that there's a third way to play, which is no power. So you can, when you get, when you have your encounter with the, I just completely blanked.
I mean, that's wild.
In the Void, the Outsider. When you meet the Outsider, you can say, I've had enough of your games. I don't want your powers. He's like, okay, well, there's another surprise. And you can you can play the entire game with no powers whatsoever.
Wow.
And it's an entirely different way to play the game, because not only do they have to build levels and missions to account for, well, here's all the things that Corvo may or may not be doing based on player choice, or Emily, but this third option of the player has no superpowers, whatever. You're just moving through and mantling and trying to do stealth or combat with no powers. So it's an entirely different third way, really, to play the game, which just opens up that much more in the way of options.
That's awesome.
The chaos system is back again, right? So if you go around and make a big mess, people are gonna.
Yeah, one of the things they wanted to try and do was offer more in the variance of how things play out based on the choices. I think you'll see more of that now that Corvo and Emily are voiced, that they project and bring out more of that, how and what they're saying, as well as what they're doing, as well as how the story progresses.
Now, would you say that one of either characters are kind of suited to different play styles, or is it really just...
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, that was really important to us, that it wasn't like, oh, well, Corvo is the kick-ass guy and Emily's the stealth guy. Absolutely not. You can play Corvo completely non-violent and never kill anybody start to finish. You do the exact same thing with Emily. You want to kick in the doors and do just terrible, awful things to bad guys with Emily? Absolutely. Now, they do it in very different ways based on the powers that they have, but you can still do any play style with either character. That was really important.
And so you are, you make your choice at the beginning of the game or near the beginning of the game, and then that's the path you take through that game, right? Or are you bouncing back and forth?
No bouncing back and forth. So you play the game through to a certain point. You hit this decision. We actually kind of give you a little glimpse of it, where they're sort of back to back in this confrontation. You decide which one you're going to play, and then that's the character you play through the end. And then obviously, if you want to replay the game, you can go back and.
Cool.
Sure.